Hello, everyone, and welcome to the final live and in-person So What Music Fest interview on Ian Hates Music Conversation Edition. Thank you once again for joining me, and don't be sad. You're going to be very happy with my guest today because that guest is Daniel Wand of the band Capsize. We get into a lot of my favorite topics, and obviously Capsize is one of my favorite bands. So it was great to have Daniel on the show. I would like to thank him once again, as well as Natalie, for setting all this up. I'm going to keep this short, and I want you to rock out to some great Capsize music. So the first track I'm going to play for you is XX So My Eyes, and then after the conversation, the final track you're going to hear is Tear Me Apart. Both these tracks are off the newest release by Capsize called A Reintroduction, The Essence of All That Surrounds Me. If you haven't listened to that album, I kind of worry about you because it is such a great album. Make sure you pick it up. Make sure you catch Capsize live on tour. They are always touring. So here we go. Here's XX So My Eyes. Enjoy. right, everyone. It is So What time again. I'm here with Daniel from the band Capsize.
Yo.
How you doing, man?
Good. Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm actually not doing bad. I was very, very happy to be able to catch your set.
Awesome.
Awesome job, man.
I had a good time.
Good. I'm very glad.
Fuck yeah.
You had mentioned you had done the show, what, like 4 times before?
This is our fourth. Mind you, the last one was the kind of secondary So What, where they did it in all the different venues.
Oh, right. Yes.
But this is our third time playing the park.
Oh, okay.
So it's a good time every time for sure.
What keeps you coming back?
Mike and sending an offer. Literally, that's what keeps us coming back.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we'd be down to do it like infinite amount of times. I mean, I feel like Texas is honestly one of our strongest points in the world. Not even just in America. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, we tour worldwide like regularly.
Yeah.
And like everyone looks forward to the few Texas shows. And also, I got family out in San Antonio and Austin.
Oh, do you? Okay.
They kind of like, you know, we get a little spoiled for like one day a month.
Sure.
With like nice dinners and shit like that.
Very nice.
So, yeah, I mean, it's all love in Texas, man, for real. Like, you know, especially coming from all the surrounding states where it's not like New Mexico, Oklahoma, like, you know, no disrespect to the people that live there, but like generally speaking, like accommodation wise, energy wise, like just every detail about the entire experience of like being in a band, playing a show, and being on tour. Is like severely heightened to a positive extreme in Texas versus like anywhere else that touches it.
That's awesome. Actually, I flew down from Boston for this. And
Boston's dope. We also love, I know this isn't Boston, but it's close. We love Palladium.
Yeah, Worcester.
Yeah.
Yep.
We recorded our first record right by there too in Haverhill with Jay Moss, who played guitar in Defeater.
Oh, right. All right.
He's producing bands out there and shit. And yeah, so
for Angst in My Veins?
Yeah, we recorded that out there.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah,
that's great.
yeah.
What was the connection there besides, like, was it just because of him? Did you have some other connection?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much, it was just him. Like, whenever we were making the band, it was a kind of coincidence that a couple of the bands that we were like, all right, like, this is really, like, helping define what we want to be doing.
Yeah.
He had produced.
Oh, okay.
So we were like, all right, well, if more than one of the band that we would consider a main influence at this point in the band has recorded there, it's be stupid to not.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So that's why we did it. And he was cool as fuck, and he had so much fun, like, making it that he took us on tour right after, so that was cool.
Yeah, very cool. Who are some of your main influences then that actually recorded there?
Okay, yeah, so whenever we were making that record, so I'll just backtrack a little bit by saying that
Absolutely.
I have some very different types of artists that I would consider a main influence to like hone in on this part of the story. Like the bands that he was recorded was the main one was Defeater. Like I loved the way they're like, are you familiar with their different releases?
Yes, I have.
Okay, like that Lost Ground EP that has like Red, White, and Blues and shit on it.
Yeah.
I thought the production on that for like a hardcore record was like super, super next level, and I was like pretty into like recording from a technical side at this point in my life too.
Right.
And I knew that like it was kind of agreed upon that like he had kind of, you know, created this cool little niche of like making melodic hardcore sound fucking insane. Like he just knew how to do it just right.
Exactly.
So like first and foremost, like his own project is really what got us in the door, but also like these bands called The Carrier and Dead Swans are like, those are like some of my favorite hardcore bands. And also the way the records that he produced for those bands is pretty much like what we wanted to do at that point in the band.
Right.
And yeah, and he fucking nailed it too, so it was cool.
And obviously you mentioned it, but things have changed a little bit with what influenced you with a reintroduction.
Yep.
Do you want to go into that a little bit? I'd love to hear it.
I can, yeah. Oh, I don't know. I don't want to like fucking babble, but if
no, that's the whole point.
Okay, cool.
I want to hear you.
Okay, cool. All right, so I'll just like rewind a little bit more to just kind of like make everything make a little bit more sense.
Sure.
So no, the first incarnation of the band, we wanted to be this like aggressive melodic hardcore band, like the stuff that I'm talking about, and that's like what I could get people on the same page with. Granted, I had personally come from a more like post-hardcore background, like
Same, yes.
My personal bands that made me not necessarily decide that I'm going to be in a band 100%, but decide that music is like an extreme part of my life. Were like from first to last, the OG stuff, Under Oath, first couple records, bands like that, you know, Armor for Sleep and Thursday, and those were the bands that like really like made me a music kid, you know what I mean, just in
Sure.
general. And then like obviously like being someone that's into that stuff, like you want to be a part of it, like making it and shit. So even though whenever I was first like getting into post-hardcore, making a band at that point in my life wasn't very realistic.
Okay.
And by the time making a band became very realistic, I had more friends that were into hardcore and stuff like that. And and I don't really like a lot of straightforward hardcore stuff, but I love like dark melodic hardcore bands like the bands we just mentioned.
Yeah, for sure.
Like a lot of stuff on Deathwish and stuff like I love like Killing the Dream and shit like that too.
Very nice.
And anyways, so like post-hardcore really got me into music, and then whenever I was at a point in my life where I could pursue music, all my friends were into hardcore, and I was like, all right, well, if we can do it like this particular way, like I'm down, like whatever.
Right.
So got the ball rolling with that, and then the band kind of like cycled through and weeded out people that weren't really down for the true fucking long-term touring sacrifice / commitment.
Yeah.
And so whatever, like we just kept grinding, and it got to a point to where I kind of looked up and realized that everything had been moving so fast that I had like definitely accomplished every single detail of like the idea of like Capsize that I had in my head upon its inception as a hardcore band.
Sure.
And I was like, you know what, like this is super fucking cool, but if I want to like tour forever,
right,
I need to get more in touch with myself or something, you know what I mean? Like, not that it was getting boring to like play those songs because it's like my record. Like,
yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, I love it still. Like, I love Angst. Like, it's fucking sick.
It is.
I hope other people think that too.
Yeah, I think they do. I mean, based on the crowd size for an early show, I would think so.
Cool. Yeah. And so, anyways, we toured we did like 3, almost 4 whole world tours off that one record, and toured with literally every single band that was relevant that we wanted to. Like, toured with Defeater, Stick to Your Guns, Counterparts, Terror, Comeback Kid, like literally every fucking hitter that like, you know, we're the people to look up to. Like, we already got that experience, like in every fucking direction. So I was like, all right, cool. Like, I've already accomplished way more than I ever thought I would. So now to create some set in stone longevity with me being I'm going to put this in quotes, musician, I want to get in touch with like the reason of why I even started the shit in the first place, which is like these post-hardcore bands, which, as you can hear on our new record, like the bands that I brought up now reflect a lot more on the new sound. Right. So essentially, like, it's not that we didn't want to be a hardcore band anymore by any means, and we're still going to be playing those songs. Like, whatever you can say, like, people can say the band is not the same or it changed or whatever, but at the end of the day, that record still exists. You know what I mean? So it's like, no matter what else we make, we're still going to fucking play those songs. So
it's not going away.
It is what it is. And now I just want to make music that like reflects. I mean, that's why our record is literally called A Reintroduction, the essence of all that surrounds me. It's very, even though it seems kind of wordy and like might seem like overly artsy if you don't really get it, but it truly is literal. It is it is like a physical reintroduction of the band based around like what got me to where I am, even from the very fucking start.
That makes sense.
And yeah, that's pretty much.
No, that's awesome, and that's what I was going to actually say. That's what I was guessing
the
title was about, and it makes total sense. So let me go back to something, because I'm a huge post-hardcore fan as well, and I love the new album. I also love the old album too, but I like that transition. So you had mentioned From First to Last, which is also one of my favorite bands. You know, Matt Good does a lot of producing. Yeah. Would you ever want to reach out to him to possibly do a third album?
Dude, I've reached out to him multiple times just to tell him he's awesome. Like, yeah.
I do the same thing.
Like,
I do.
Literally, even before there was any remote possibility of them, like, being a thing again ever, like, I, like, even hit him up whenever A Reintroduction first came out, and I was like, if you want to play in a band, like, you can just be in our band. Like, obviously an extreme long shot, but I was just like, if one of your idols seems like he's in kind of a dormant spot, like, why would you not, like, obviously his talent's not going to waste if From First to Last is doing what they're doing. For sure. But if he's like just posting on the internet about just jamming in his room, then I'm like, dude, we tour year round, let's go. But
oh, that would be amazing.
And then like, I mean, we really like recording at the studio called Glow in the Dark, which is where we did our last record. And I don't know if we'd want to like change that
Okay.
right this second. However, yeah, I'd love his opinion on anything ever. For
No,
sure.
I understand. I've had him on the show.
Oh,
it was
sick.
fucking amazing talking to him. And
Tell him I said what's up.
I definitely will, actually. I'm going to tweet him now, for sure. Let me go off on that a little bit, and then we'll come back. So what do you think of Sonny rejoining the band?
Dude, I literally fucking cried when I heard the song. I'm not kidding. Like,
I think I might have seen a tweet that you did about that.
yeah, I was like, dude, like my fucking like happiness is restored. Like, I know, dude, they're never gonna fucking see like what they really do for like people that were like true diehard, like in the moment. You know what I mean? Like, especially Sonny. Like, he's like, he can't even look at his own internet because it's so flooded. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's
for
like,
sure.
But he knows, dude. You know, like they all know. But
Right.
and also like another like side fact is that like From First to Last was my first show ever of my whole life. Yeah.
Holy shit.
And also, I didn't listen to them at this time, but He Is Legend played that show. And now, 11 years later, we're on tour with them, which is totally fucked.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Wow.
And anyways, but yeah, so shout out to fucking my mom for taking me to that first He Is Legend From First to Last show because
That's awesome.
it ruined my life in the best way ever.
Yeah, so I was going to ask, how is that tour going? You're with Norma Jean as well.
It's sick.
It's got to be crazy.
Yeah, it's great.
That's awesome. Is it weird to go on that tour with them and then to come play a music festival where they're also there? It just seems weird. It seems like that's happening with a lot of them. It's just coinciding with a lot of different tours.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of like, I feel like that's kind of like the premise of this fest is like, obviously, spring is touring season.
Right.
And obviously, Texas has a dope scene, so
Absolutely.
why not try and, you know, congregate all these tours that are happening into one, like, common weekend?
Right.
Which I think is why this is happening the way it is.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
I at least hope so. Well, I did want to ask you because I'm a huge fan of your voice.
Thank
I love
you.
the vocals, the range that you have, singing to talking to screams, the uncleans are great.
Hell yeah. Thanks.
When did you know you could do that? And then what do you do now? I mean, you just had a show and you were blowing it out there, and now you're talking on a podcast.
I'll just be 110% honest. You say, like, at what point did you know that you could do that? Like, I still question if I can do it. Like,
really?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is I'm not, this is not even going to fucking make sense, but I'm just going to say it like the way it's in my mind.
Yeah.
But I literally don't even consider myself a singer. Even though I'm the singer of my band, I consider myself a, like, artistic entertainer, essentially. And I'm not trying to say that on any sort of pretentious shit.
Right.
I'm just trying to, like, literally let it be known that I don't think that my musical ability is fucking above anyone.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not here because of my raw talent. I'm here because of how fucking bad I want it.
Right.
And that's what I have to say about that. Like, you know, ever since I was into those bands, I always wanted to sing like that. And, like, another band that I forgot to mention, which was a huge influence on the way that I sing and scream, is like Burt McCracken from The Used.
Of course, yeah. You can hear it. You could do a duet with him.
Yeah,
the way that you sound.
hopefully I can.
It would be amazing.
But yeah, like, honestly, man, like Burt McCracken and like Sonny Moore and like early 2000s are the reason that my voice pretty much sounds the way it does now.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? That's just like the way it is. But yeah, like I'm not a technical singer. Like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Like, I literally just put all my energy into doing something that I like a lot, and that's really
so
it.
no
Also,
like prep work? You know, like after, do you have any like after things you make sure that your voice is okay?
not really. I mean, I want to, and also like, I mean, I doubt he'll even hear this, but like Bradley that sings in Emerosa, he gave me some singing lessons on Warped Tour as a starting point, and honestly, I probably didn't even take in the technical information the way I should have, but what I did get was like a little bit of confidence boost to just fucking go for it.
Sure.
And if it wasn't for him, I might not have tried singing as much as I did on the new record.
Oh, okay.
So shout out to Emerosa for telling me to just fucking do it.
Yeah, did you have like a talk saying, I'm not sure if I want to do more clean vocals like in that kind
I pretty
of
much just told him, I was like, look, like I want to sing on my new record. This is the stuff that I like, you know, like, and then he like gave me some like basic pointers and stuff like that. But honestly, just having the respect, like, you know, face to face, like verbal respect of someone who's like, I mean, Bradley sings incredible.
Yeah, of course.
And I look up to his singing a lot, and I know I'll never sound that good, but honestly, just him having any faith in me at all really also gave me a like extra boost to just say fuck it and go for it.
Right.
his talent is surreal.
Yes.
But
Agreed.
yeah, so anyways, dude, honestly, like, yeah, I am the singer of my band, but like I'm not a singer by trade.
Gotcha.
I just love it. I love like being a front man, and I love, you know, having like the artistic direction that is what my band is being.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it just so happens that I'm the singer. You know what I mean?
Was there any time that you ever wanted to play a musical instrument?
Sort of. I mean, I wanted to play guitar. I mean, I do like try to play guitar like here and there. I mean, it was more so like I kind of grew up in a house where they weren't really trying. It's not that they weren't down to let me have a guitar, but they weren't trying to hear me learn how to play guitar.
Okay, gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So like
I
that
can understand.
was just that, and I just like I don't know. Like I said, like I literally don't feel like I have any technical skill. It's all vision and heart and like drive, and yeah, I'm not a singer. I just like want it really, really, really fucking bad.
I mean, that's a great message for everyone. I mean, I can tell a lot of people like you as a vocalist. I certainly do, obviously.
Thank
That's
you.
why you're here, because I wanted to talk to you about that stuff. But I love the way you do your vocals, but it's awesome to know that it's just your drive of why and how you want it. Like, that's awesome. That's great.
Honestly, and I don't know how many people are listening or going to listen to this, but
Oh, it's going to be thousands.
cool.
Yeah.
All right, well, to the thousands.
I should have said millions. It would have sounded cooler.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, even if it's literally one kid sitting there listening to us,
I hope not.
if you're not talented but you want something fucking bad, just literally don't give up.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great advice. It really is.
Yeah.
So we do I think this works in perfectly with what we were talking about before as well. We do a segment on the weekly show, the weekly music show, where we call it Breakdown from the Past. And we talk about a band that had influence on us or someone that we missed that is no longer together anymore. And we really thought their music was great, but it gets no attention anymore. Do you have someone, especially that kind of 2002, 2008, like post-hardcore screamo era that you can think of?
The funny thing is like it like from first to last would have been such an easy answer, but like here they are resurfaced.
Yeah, again.
Another band. Okay, so a band that came back for a second but didn't like really come back was Armor for Sleep.
Oh yeah, they did.
They did that little like.
It was a 10th anniversary tour,
Was it
right?
a 10-year or was it a reunion show tour?
Maybe. For some reason, I thought it was but it could have been.
Anyways,
yeah.
I really wish they would have like been like, oh yeah, people still like us and we're a band again, as opposed to like, oh, check it out one last time, just because I didn't get to.
Right.
And I bought a ticket when the tickets were released, but then I ended up being on tour.
Yeah, I did the same thing when Funeral for a Friend was breaking up. When they did their whole tour around England, I bought a ticket to the show, but I couldn't make it out there.
Yeah. Honestly, dude, like the pinnacle of like that type of shit for me is like straight up the bands we've already said.
Yeah, understood.
Like Under Oath, From First to Last, The Used, like those are the bands that like literally made me like as a teenager, and like that's just I don't even stray from that. You know what I mean? Like those are still like my most like rotated things.
Yeah. Besides new music that I listened to for the show.
Yeah.
That's what made me want to do this. I mean, I was in failed bands. I love talking to, and I know you don't like being called it, but a musician.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, I'm down to be called it. I'm just not kidding myself.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I gotcha. But let me tell you, before we wrap up, I did think that show was awesome.
Sick. Thanks.
How did you get Ben to come out? Did you know Ben from Invent Animate?
Yeah. So funny, Ben. In 2013, we were on like a DIY summer tour and played like some VFW in the Dallas area where Invent Anime happened to play. And I hope I'm not wrong in saying this, but I think that like our manager had just picked up them, or their manager had just picked us up.
Okay.
We were both super young, both still doing like totally DIY stuff.
Yep.
And we both got the same manager like around the same time. And then we just stayed in general touch like between them, and I honestly did not even see him until that last song.
Oh, really? Okay.
And then I saw him kind of like standing there like rocking out with his friend, so I just kind of like mouthed to him like, you know this part, and he was like, yeah, and I was like, all right, come up here. I literally did not talk to him before it at all. I didn't even see him until the last song,
Wow,
and I just told him like, yo, come on.
Well, I didn't know he was going to be here because they played yesterday.
Yeah, I didn't know either. Like I said, I did not see him until I was playing.
Right then.
Yeah.
He said he didn't do a good job. I told him he did a
He
good
was
job.
fine.
He said, yeah, that's what I thought
He
too.
forgot it, but his voice is cool. So
yeah, exactly. It just
yeah.
sounds good. Sounds good. Well, one last question before we end here.
All right.
Is there anyone you're looking forward to seeing today?
Every time I die.
Yeah.
For sure.
They fucking kill it every time, man.
Hope they take us on tour.
Is that something that you're normally looking for, is the next bands that you love to go out on tour with?
We're not even looking for that. We're just looking to stay touring, and honestly,
Okay.
like, whichever door that is cool. Like, whether it's going on a tour with, you know, our friends, or whether it's going on tour with OGs like Norma Jean,
Yep.
like, we're literally down for anything. Just whoever fucking says come with is
with.
cool. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I am very much looking forward to seeing Norma Jean today too.
Yep.
Do you watch their show on a regular basis?
Oh yeah.
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 Okay.
I'll sing with them tonight.
Oh, you
them.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. What song? This is coming out later. So.
Memphis at the end.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, Daniel, thank you so
Dude,
much, man, for
thank
being
you.
on the show.
This
I
was
appreciate
cool.
it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
So watch me brave the same storm outside, watching through your window with your perfect eyes. I can't find myself unless I'm all alone. Unless I'm all alone. So watch me brave the storm outside, watching through your window with your perfect eyes. Fuck me over again and say this time around. No one's laughing now. This is how it feels. What it means to drown in the pain you're giving me. I wanted you to know that I'm never coming home. 'Cause I can't find myself unless I'm all alone. Unless I'm all alone. Unless I'm all alone. So watch me brave the storm outside, watching through your window with your perfect eyes. So watch me brave the storm outside, watching through your window with your perfect eyes. Just the same as you would with anyone else. May I play just the same as you would with anyone else. May I play just as you would with anyone else. May I play just as you would with anyone else. The same storm outside, watching through your window with your perfect eyes. So watch me brave the storm outside, watching through your window with your perfect eyes. So watch me brave the storm outside, watching through your window with your perfect eyes.
Ian here. I hope you enjoyed that conversation live from So What Music Fest. Make sure to check the links in the description of this episode to support the artist. They really deserve it. And just a quick plug here before I leave you. Don't forget that Ian Hates Music also does a weekly show where my co-host Jackson and I talk about all the scene news, new songs, album reviews, album talk, comedy, whatever we want. That's the great thing about having our own shows. We can do whatever we want. And you can listen to that all for free. Just check the other links in the description of the episode and follow everything Ian hates. Don't forget that there's also Ian Hates Music Conversation Edition, which is also free. And in that, I go in depth with the artist almost always for an hour or so. And you can find some great bands in the list there. Just check everything out in the links in the description of this episode. So once again, thank you to the artists. Thank you to So What Music Fest, and thank you to everyone out there listening. And until next episode, I will leave you the way I always do. Long days and pleasant nights. Thanks, everyone.